Do you believe the NHL has kind of come out with the best format? Ziggy and I have been talking about this, and we agree. We like what the NHL so far is doing best out of all of these sports leagues.
Well, I do. I think the NBA one is interesting. That race to eighth place, I think, is interesting. But I like, I like the NHL one a lot more now that I saw how they finally settled it. Like, the thing I like about the NHL one is that they kind of said, okay, here's our idea, and then they tweaked it some more. Like this is the time for. I like the fact the NHL came up with something different. I like the fact that there's the extra round because we all love playoffs and they're going to be meaningful games. I like the fact that they're going to be resetting the matchups depending on high seed versus low seed. I like the qualification round. I do. Now, people say there's too many teams. That's fine. But I think the more big games they are when they come, the more I enjoy it. I really like it. I think, hopefully we get a chance to play. I mean, there was a positive COVID test yesterday that was announced, and, that's a little, we still have to deal with this, obviously. But I hope we get a chance to play it. But I really do like the format. I like it that they're now reseeding it. I like it that it's 4 out of 7, as many series that you possibly can have it. I like the qualification / play-in round. And I kind of like also the way they've decided to do the lottery. Like I thought I would hate the way they did the lottery. And, I think that they found a way that is really good. The only thing I'm still not crazy about that whole, what they're doing with the top 4 seeds, but if there's one thing you don't like about this, you're probably okay. I really do like the NHL playoff setup too. I will say this. I do think the NBA race for 8 is interesting, but generally I'm surprised they're playing 8 regular season games. Like we don't know how much runway we're going to have. I am surprised they're doing that much. That to me is the biggest risk with what they're doing.
Elliotte, do you have a sense of where things are at in terms of getting players who either are not in Canada right now or who are not Canadian, especially who are not Canadian and not in Canada right now, into the country? Should team facilities reopen and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Because, the border's closed. That's a significant challenge.
Well, we know, Scott, that phase 3, which is the mandatory phase, and I don't think this one's going to be that busy. Like, it didn't get a lot of news last night because it's really not that big. But if you look, the Capitals sent out a statement on their team PR Twitter account saying that we don't know when we're going to open phase 2. And that says to me that, you know what that is? They don't have anybody there or not a lot. So I think, or they still have to hire a hygiene officer or thing like that. Montreal too, like there was I'd heard yesterday that they weren't going to open up their facility because there was nobody around or maybe one player around. So I think one of the things we got to figure out is how many teams are going to do this, because I don't know if there's a lot of guys who are going to participate because it's not mandatory. But phase 3, it's not starting before July 10th. You probably saw Eric Francis yesterday say that he's hearing it might be closer to the beginning of August. Chris Johnston said he heard that too. The next border announcement is due June 21st, right? So I think we're probably going to know around then. Like, are the border restrictions lifted? If the answer is yes, then this all goes away. It's not a problem. If the answer is no, then it's not getting through. I think the NHL feels right now, from the last I heard earlier this week, the exceptions that are being made in the U.S. Canada's not as interested in doing them. And so I think there's probably a lot of people in the country that say that's okay with them. So even though obviously there's some premiers who would like the country to kind of ease it up, at this point in time, and it could change at any time, but at this point in time, I'd heard that Trudeau wasn't that interested in doing it.